Hi, everyone. Hi, Deb. Sorry, I couldn't get my phone to hook up. It's always something. So I'll give it about a minute since I was late getting on. I had to reset my phone. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. I'm going to get started. I have 4 cards, fun fold cards for you tonight. Um, and I did get new product in today. Not too much, but some to keep me busy for a week or two. So I'll be sharing some of that with you probably on Friday. This is Monday. Probably Friday, I'll have something new to show you. So we're going to get busy. I am making 4 fun fold cards. And I'm going to flip the camera down. Sorry about that light there. It's my light overhead here. The first one is going to be like this. These 2 that I made. Let me zoom in just a little more. Hi, Tina. Hi, Barb. Snuffy Barb. Hi, Denise. Hi, Tina. Everyone, welcome. Okay. Fun fold card. You're going to open it this way and then that way. Okay. And this is actually a new set. Child is born. Here, I did not play with it other than to do this. So I will be playing with that. And then this is just using Designer Series paper. And you know what? I have that paper upside down. It should be like that. The ships are upside down. That's an oops. That's a blooper. See, if Linda was here, we would have a blooper. All right. So it's supposed to be like that. So, but that's that one. We are making this. This is from Thoughtful Journey? No. Beautiful Gallery. DSP. Yeah. Beautiful Gallery, DSP. And I was watching another demonstrator, and she makes templates out of our window sheets that come with our photopolymer stamps. Hi, Deb. Oh, I did say hi to you earlier. So, and what she does, she figures out the size that she wants. Then she cuts the window sheet. And then that way she can lay on here where she wants the vocal point to be. And then she cuts that out. So I thought I'd share that. I thought that was a pretty unique idea. So, and that's how I measured this here. It's using basic beige, and this is 8.5 by 5.5. You're going to score it at 4.25, but you are going to cut off an inch from the side here. Okay, and then you're going to score this at 3. At 2. So this is all one card. You're going to cut it after you fold it, or you can cut the inch off and still fold it at 4.5. Okay. Basic gray. Oh, that's, yeah, okay. Basic gray is 3.5 by 4.75. Oh, thanks, Deb. And then this is very vanilla. It's 3.75 by 5. this will go on top of there. Okay. Now this piece was a piece of scrap, and it was actually probably from a card that I had already cut and folded. I'm putting this on the inside of my card. You know what? This piece goes in here. This gets mounted to this. This piece is 3¼ by 4½. I'm sorry. So I'm going to put this down first, my strip. This is a fairly new. And I'm going to have it pretty close to the bottom, and I'll show you why in a second. And then I'm going to put this in. That's going to cover that flap. And then the inside, the vanilla. So the basic gray is 4 by 5¼ and this would be 3¾ by 5. And then see, that's going to cover that part. You don't see that. And then we're going to glue this on to the front. This is going to go here, and then this will go over like that. Okay. So let me put, oh wait, you don't want glue on all of it. You only want glue on this part. If you put it all over, you won't be able to open your card. And then this gets laid over there. And we are going to stamp, and I should have done it first. Let me see if this fits on here since I appreciate you. And I'm going to use basic gray for that. And there is my first card. To make that flap lay better, you're going to just run your bone folder over. Now you could stamp in here if you want. I left it blank. Thanks, Deb. So that is card number 1. You could put bling on it, but I figured since I'm doing 4 cards tonight, and they're all fun folds. I do not have one to show you what this is like because this was something last minute kinda. This is 10 by 4¼ You're going to score it at 2¼ and 7¾ That's going to go like that. You need a 4 by 5¼ That's going to go in the middle here. I think that's what it is. Yep, 5¼ by 4. I am going to lay that in there a while. And the card that I'm making with this here is actually the Christmas Tags and More. Okay. It's using, let me find it here, this piece here. What I did was cut a 2" and a 2". Okay. That would cut the whole thing here. Yeah, it gives you just a little bit of the green with this part here. Thanks, Linda. And then you come up with this here. So this is a 2" by 4. Okay, so you have 2 of those. Then you need a piece that is 1 3/4 by 3 3/4, 1 1/2 by 3 1/2. And I'm using garden green. And then I am using the ephemera pack that goes with this here. Okay. This is my tree. It's going to go inside here. I'm going to put that down and just lay that in here like so. And then I'm going to bring that up, and you won't see that. You wouldn't see it anyway because that would cover it. So we're going to lay that down a while. I'm not going to pop it up because of being underneath the card. All right. These 2 is going to be on here. Let me score these a little better. Okay. So that one's going to go here, and this one will go here. Okay. So let's put them down. And since I cut it the way I cut it, it goes on a curve. I kept that flow. For this, I got 2 candy canes from that ephemera pack. I'm going to lay that there. I am putting this on the bottom, and I'm going to cut that off. What I'm going to do is just put the glue on this part here. I'll lay this down, and then I'll cut it off. And then I'm going to put some mini dimensionals on this. I could have used bigger ones, but I have so many little ones. I want to get rid of them. The little backing is harder to get off sometimes than the bigger ones. If you push down in the center, that usually picks them up. And then that's going to go in the middle there. And we're going to put that on there. Okay, that's going to get laid right there. Now my Merry Christmas, I am going to cut apart right in the middle there. Just curve it a little, and then curve this side. And he's going to get glued in the middle there. Mary. There is no stamping at all on this card, just so you know. I was going to put a stamp something here, and I thought, why, when I have this here, we could just use that. You're just going to glue the top over here, because if you do the whole thing, your card won't open. And you're going to glue the bottom. You're not going to put anything in the middle. We're just going to put that there. I'm trying to get it so that it's even. And then you have your card that opens. You don't want to do that. I was thinking another way I did it, and it wasn't done that way. So when that dries, you're not going to put glue on the bottom there, guys, because you want it to open up like that. Okay? So what I'll do is I will take my eraser and erase that off so it doesn't stick. Sorry. Oh, thanks, Deb. All right, for the next one, I promise I won't mess up on this one, hopefully. I am using the rustic centerpieces. And I'm using this one here. I went ahead and colored it and fussy cut it out so you didn't have to sit here and watch me. This is, you're going to take 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Okay? Then you're going to lay this on your cutter. Where's my cutter? My table and my desk is a mess. Then you're going to line that fold up here to the corner of the one when you fold it, and you're just going to cut that off to give you that, angle. Your paper, you're going to do the same. This is 5 1/4 by 4. You're going to do the same, and you're going to cut it that way. Okay, so you have a piece for here. Then this is 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go on the inside. All right, so we're going to put that down a while. I wanted to make sure I got it in the corners. And we're going to lay this down. Like so. And we can put this one on in a while. Okay. And then you need a piece that is 8.5 by 3 1/4. And you're going to score that at 4 1/4. Okay. That's going to lay on the inside here. And it's going to get folded over. Okay. So you'll need 2 pieces of basic white. And this is Early Espresso. 4 by 3. And you need 2 of those. One's going to go on the inside of your base here. Okay. This one is going to go on the outside. And then this is going to go in the front. And I did happy birthday. So I'm going to glue him down and pop up the greeting. Put him down. Get some dimensionals for that. I'm going to just lay that right across there. And then we're going to glue this part on the inside. Open it up first. And you can center that on the inside here. And then you fold it down. You gotta make sure it's up high enough where that diagonal starts, so it folds down. And there's my third card. Second card. Third. Oh, I had, yeah, 4 cards I have for you. I thought I had 5. Oh, did you? Good. I sent you a text just in case. So that's card number 3. Card number 4, I think, is my favorite. And it has a little more supplies than the other ones. I done these years ago, and I forgot all about them. So I was going through my what do I want to say, tutorials or pictures or whatever, and I came up with a card. It wasn't this one, of course. This is using You Are Remarkable stamp set. But when you open it up, you get that. Okay. So we are going to be using Misty Moonlight. This is using the paper. The last card I actually, for this one here, I used the Woven Texture. Yeah, me too, Tina. Woven Texture DSP for this card. And this is using the Floral Expressions. This one that I'm using now. And I have the stamp set here. Impressions of Bloom. Okay, Misty Moonlight, 4 1/4 by 11. Scored at 5 1/2. Okay, 2 pieces of Designer Series paper, and you can use whatever side you want. And these are 4 by 5 1/4. They're going to go on the inside. And then you need 2 pieces for the outside. And I'm using Pool Party and Fresh Freesia. In here, it's Old Olive, Fresh Freesia, and Misty Moonlight. And this little flower here is the Pool Party. But I embossed this with the pressed flower embossing folder. And it's like that. So I put them both in this way and then emboss. Now they don't go all the way up, but I was all right. Oh, thanks, Denise. Hey, I think I have your address. I know you sent it to me, but I didn't write it down right away, and I couldn't remember where you sent it to me at. From where you sent it to me. So if you would send it to me again, just to make sure I have the right one. Okay. So what you're going to do is lay this one and lay this one, or vice versa. Either way you want to put it. They're going to go on the front. Then you need a piece that is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and that is your Misty Moonlight. That's going to get laid there, and then you need the white 2 1/2 by 4. That'll be on the top. So I'm going to put these down a while. This isn't as hard of a fun fold. If you would look at it, it's not that hard to make. Just takes a little more supplies and a little more putting together. Okay, this is going to go on the front, and I did pop it up, so I'm not going to put it down yet. This I did with the dies that come with the set, and I'm going to get my trusty mat here. I'm going to put a little glue here, get my new, because I did not put that on adhesive sheets. So I'm just going to tap that a little. I'm going to lay this down. It works so much easier than trying to use the glue. And then I have my flowers. And they are Misty Moonlight and Fresh Freesia. And then my old olive leaves. So let me get a dimensional and put the flowers up on them. And the leaves I'm just going to glue down. Like so. Then I'm going to lay this on the Misty Moonlight. That's going to get popped up to the front. And that's going to go on the front. Yep. Okay, now we're going to do the inside. I've scored this. This is a 1 inch by 11. Okay. You're going to score it at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and 8 1/4. And you're going to do a mountain fold. Up, back, and up. And you want to make sure they're even. Okay. Bring your card in. Oh, wrong way. First you need to put your papers in. I didn't know if I wanted the green side or the flowers or one of each. What do you think? Should I put both flowers down, or should I put one green, one flower, or 2 greens or 2 flowers? Because this is going to get laid on here. Okay, stretch it out. And then you have squares that you're going to put on. And I think the flowers would make it too busy. So I'm going to go with the green. I have one of each. All right, I'll do one of each. Okay. Now what we're going to do, I am going to fold this up. I'm going to put glue there. And I am going to find the middle, and it's going to go up to the very edge of the paper. And that looks like that's about the middle. If you're really fussy and make sure you want it in the middle, you can measure it. I am going to fold that up. I'm going to put glue on this. And then I'm just going to fold this one up and lay it down. And when you open it up, you have that motion there. Okay? So, I went ahead and I stamped out of this here. I am going to put thanks on the outside. Okay? And then for being here, or so very much for being here, it's going to go in the inside. And I sponged it on the outside with fresh freesia. These are 2¼ inch squares, and you need 4, and they're Misty Moonlight. These are 2 by 2, and they get laid on here. Since I already have these done, I'm gonna stamp on here. I am gonna put these on my matted wow. Okay. And then for this, I thought just a simple flower. Now I could use these because it's the same shape. So I'm going to get them out. And I'm going to get my blocks here. And I think what I'm going to do, I got glue here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep with the same color scheme. Fresh freesia. You have a solid, and then you have one that has detail. So what I'm going to do is take the solid one, stamp off, stamp on, and then you're going to take the one with the detail, and then you got to find out how they go. Things like that. That's close enough. And then I'm just going to take this and just stamp the detail around. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the Misty Moonlight. Stamp off, stamp down, and figure out how it goes. Close enough. And then I'm just going to stamp the outlines around. Whoops. Like so. I'm not done. Get my leaf and my block and old olive. And I'm just going to stamp in between those. Like so. And then I'm going to get the dots. And I am going to use Pool Party. And put them in the middle. Whoop, that one didn't go in right. Okay. Okay. We got our flowers. Now we're going to put them together. They get glued down. On the mats. And then we're going to bring the card in. And let's see. We're going to put a blue up here. Thanks so very much is going to go in the next one. Then the flower for being here or for being there. So you don't want to put it all around, just so you know. I just put a little in the center and I laid it down. And you want to make sure you don't cross over that score line there. So you put about in the middle. And you do the same thing on this one. The score lines. And I'm eyeing it up here. Okay. And then you have the next one. Score marks. Line them up. And then the last one. Okay. And then you that. And then we're going to put this down. I'm just going to glue this one down. Hi, Rosie. Welcome. So I'm just going to glue this across the bottom there. And there you have the 4 fun fold. I am going to use my eraser now to take this glue off. We don't sell these anymore. Stampin' Up! Used to sell these. And they discontinued them. But I found some on Amazon. And they are bigger. And I think they're a little firmer. They're a little harder than these. And I need to do this side. I want to take it off so I can fold it and show you. I could take my my resin powder for my uh, embossing powder. That would not make it sticky. Okay, I still got to work on that, but that's 4. That's 3. There's 2 and 1. All right, that is, and then I'll bring this one in, and my other 2. Here we go. There you go. That's my cards for tonight. Oh, did you really? I have so many cards, I need to get rid of them. It I make them. I should send them. All right, guys. I'm gonna put some gems in the middle here, in the middle of the flowers. Hi, Linda Davis. Welcome and thank you. Thank you, Tina. All right, guys. I want to say thank you for joining me tonight, and I hope you enjoyed the fun folds. I don't make them often, and I don't know why, because I like doing them. I do the book fold one. That's very easy. So, all right. Have a wonderful evening. I'll be back. Thanks, Rosie. I'll be back Wednesday for Scrapbooking Wednesday, and it's a winter one. Had to look. I think you'll like it, and I will be back on Friday with something new because I did get my small order in today. So, thank you for sharing, Tina. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate every one of you for watching me and sharing and commenting. I'm still trying to reach to 1,000. Oh, okay, Linda. Thank you. All right, guys. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you back here Wednesday at 8 o'clock.